Welcome to today's webinar, everyone. This is how to generate high-quality leads with LinkedIn. We also subtitle it, How LinkedIn Can Generate More Business for You. This will run about 45 minutes. We'll include a couple of other items within the 45 minutes, and I want to be sure that you take advantage of the fact that we are live, if you are in fact joining us live. Like for you to use the question box. I'll answer questions as I can. If it is timely, we'll go ahead and answer them right away. If it's something we've already gone over and on to the next item, then we'll go ahead and answer them after the event. First, a few quick facts about LinkedIn. LinkedIn was actually started in 2003 and already has over 400 million members. LinkedIn is so popular that still over 1 million people a week are joining LinkedIn. That's 2 per second. And there are 2 million groups on LinkedIn. I'm going to touch on groups in a short while. Also, it's probably going to be helpful for you to know that all 500 of the Fortune 500 currently use LinkedIn to help run their business more effectively. And there are 4 million business pages. So if you've not yet put your business on LinkedIn, I'd strongly encourage you to do that. You'll actually be one of the first businesses to do that. With 400 million members and only 4 million business pages, that will give you somewhat of an edge over your competitors. This webinar is presented by the Countess Group. We're a marketing and communications consultancy based in the Orlando area. And what we help you do is gain an unfair advantage over your competition. We are full service. We can help you with strategic marketing and communications, with email marketing, social media marketing. If you need a new website, we can build one for you. If you need help optimizing your existing site, we can help you with that as well. We can also help you with paid advertising, public relations, and much, much more. As I mentioned, we help businesses gain an unfair advantage over their competition. The way we do it is with targeted marketing campaigns. We don't believe in spray and pray. We do believe in targeting an audience that enables you to get much more out of your marketing budget so you can get more done and spend less. And when we do it for you, it enables you to focus on your own business. Here's my contact information. You'll be getting an email from me sometime after the webinar with a copy of the slides that you'll be seeing, as well as a handout. And here's my contact information. You can see that we're quite active on most social media channels, certainly the most popular ones. Here's a screenshot of the front page of our website. I encourage you to check us out. We're at www.thecountessgroup.com. My name is Ken Countess, and I'm an internationally recognized marketing expert. I spent over 25 years in corporate America at such well-known names as Motorola, Marriott, a company that's now owned by CVS, that's Caremark, a company now owned by Honeywell. I'm also an equity partner in another marketing firm called Ascend Marketing. The Countess Group has 6 people working with us. Clients we've served over the last 17 years include Florida Hospital, Marriott, Verizon, and others. Hundreds of small to medium-sized businesses and nonprofits, probably just like yours, probably just like mine. I like to say that we play 70 hours a week here, and play is code for work, because when you love what you do, it feels like play. If you're not yet following me on LinkedIn, I encourage you to do that. The way you do that is send an invite to me. That's my LinkedIn URL. It's linkedin.com/in/Ken Countess. And for joining us today, we've got a couple of great gifts for you. You may have seen them in the scrolling information before the webinar started. We'll recap them for you later in the webinar. Let's jump into it. What we're going to do is talk about the 8 success factors that it takes in order for you to really get the most out of your LinkedIn campaigns. First, a question for you. I'd like to know, is this the first webinar or seminar that you've attended that I've done? or maybe is it your first one? Have you been with us before? Or it's certainly possible that you're not sure. This is how we keep the event interactive, and for those of you who have joined us in the past, I want to welcome you back. It looks like we've got a pretty good mix, a 50-50 split between those who have joined us in the past and those who are here for the first time. So welcome to all of you. I'm really delighted and certainly honored that you're with me today. Here's another quick question before we go any further, and that is, how would you rate your level of experience with LinkedIn? Do you consider yourself a complete newbie? Are you a beginner that you only check LinkedIn occasionally? Are you an intermediate user, meaning you check it a couple of times a week, but maybe you're not entirely sure about all the features? Are you an advanced user? Maybe you live on LinkedIn. Go ahead and select one of those. That's going to help me figure out how to best make these 45 minutes together most useful for you. And so here's what you said, and thank you all for participating. Looks like we have a pretty even split between those who check it occasionally and maybe up to 3 times a week, and then others are complete newbies or advanced users. So as you probably know, with most every event that you attend, there's always something for everyone, no matter what your level of experience. I'm very confident that you'll get something out of this webinar today. And of course, we're only together for about 45 minutes, so we aren't going to be in any means in any depth on any one subject, but this will give you a great overview of the capability and the power of LinkedIn. So we're going to go through these big 8 success factors, the importance of your profile, ramping up your network activity, growing your network, monitoring your network, publishing on LinkedIn, answering the question about premium versus the free version. We'll talk about how to take advantage of who viewed your profile, and then how to search for high-quality leads. And we'll spend a little bit of time actually live in LinkedIn. That'll be a little bit later on. First, let's take a look at step 1, and that's your profile. LinkedIn today is very, very different than it used to be. When LinkedIn first started, and I've been using LinkedIn for 13 years already, back then you would simply take your resume and cut and paste it and put it into LinkedIn. You don't do that anymore. Today, the best way to use LinkedIn is to write your profile out in story form, not as a resume, because now you can attach your resume to your LinkedIn profile. So if you write your profile in story form, it really will get readers much more engaged with you as they check you out. And it really helps to differentiate your LinkedIn profile from your professional resume. If you were meeting someone face-to-face, you wouldn't cite verbatim what was on your resume, would you? So you don't want to do that online either. And make sure that you keep your LinkedIn profile fresh. Things change during the course of your work or your career. Make sure that you add and delete as appropriate. Also make sure that you add a professional photo to your profile. That makes you 14 times more likely to be found. Now take a look at the photo you see here. This clearly has people edited out, cropped out. That's not a very professional photo, is it? So change your photo. If you're using one right now, terrific, but make it a more professional photo. And once again, having a photo makes you 14 times more likely to be found. So check out your profile here, and what I'd like you to understand about the profile is that LinkedIn is a search engine. So you want to put all the relevant information you can in there. LinkedIn is keyword searchable. And oh, by the way, LinkedIn is now owned by Microsoft. Microsoft owns Bing. So now they own not only Bing, the search engine, but LinkedIn, which is a powerful search engine as well. So make sure that your profile is loaded up with the most appropriate keywords in order for you to be found. Why? Because over 5 billion searches are done on LinkedIn every year. So you want to be sure people find you and find you relatively quickly. Let's talk now about ramping up your network. The way you ramp up your network activity is multiple ways. One thing you do want to do is be sure that you write recommendations for people that you know, people you've worked with over the course of your career. Oftentimes, when you write a recommendation for them, they will reciprocate. Make sure you endorse contacts. This is something that LinkedIn added about 2 or 3 years ago, where you could, just by checking a box, you could endorse somebody for a variety of skills. Maybe it's marketing or sales or market research or operations. When you endorse people, that endorsement shows up in their profile, and it also shows up that you endorsed an individual, so that you will then show up in more searches as people look at the pulse activity. Also, make sure you use LinkedIn Mobile. LinkedIn's done a great job with their mobile app. We'll show you a couple of screenshots from the mobile app. This one is on alerts. And as you see the bell circled, what this will show you when you go into LinkedIn Mobile, and this is on an Android, by the way, it'll look a little bit different on an Apple device. But here you can see where people in your network have published new posts, where people have viewed your profile. We'll talk about viewed profiles soon. Here you can see where someone has endorsed me for a skill, and so on. And it's another great way to stay connected, because not only will LinkedIn tell you where things have been published, but also it enables you to stay connected with your network, in that in this example you can see that someone endorsed me for skills, and very quickly and easily you can say thank you. That level of engagement is very helpful to you as you work to increase your exposure and visibility around your network. By the way, once again, we are live, so if you'd like to ask a question or make a comment, I am watching the question box. If you're watching this on a replay, go ahead and shoot an email over to us when you have an opportunity. We'd be happy to answer. Step 3. This is one of the most important things, of course, and that is growing your network. We have over 4,000 people following us in our first circle on LinkedIn. I know because there are just a few newbies. Most of you know that LinkedIn is based on the 6 degrees of separation. So we have 4,000 people in our first circle, which connects us to millions of people on the second and third level. What I would recommend you do is make sure that you invite everyone in your contact lists to join your network. And do take advantage of LinkedIn's People You May Know feature. Typically, these are coworkers, fellow alumni, and friends that were not in your original lists. And LinkedIn figures this out based on keywords that you have in common with other people. Maybe former employers that you have in common with other people. And LinkedIn will recommend that perhaps you want to connect with them. And then search for more people like you. So what does that look like? Well, invite your family, friends, and relatives. It may surprise you to know that you probably have family and friends that are on LinkedIn that you have not yet connected with. And when you do connect with them, that will open up a whole new realm of people that you can connect to that are potential business prospects. Invite your business contacts. Invite those with whom you've worked. Invite your current and past clients. And find those who work in your industry. And by the way, inviting competitors isn't always bad. In fact, what you may find is that inviting competitors of yours to your network may actually be a good way for both of you to expand your networks and find new prospects. I'll give you an example. I know just by looking at the attendee list that there are many, many marketing consultants that are attending this webinar today. And you know who you are. And we are all connected to one another on LinkedIn. Why would that be? Well, there are only so many clients that you can successfully deal with, and you may have a specialty that I don't have. So I may very easily be able to recommend someone in my network to a client where I don't provide that service as well as someone else. So despite the fact that we may be on some level competing with one another, on the other hand, the collaboration makes it beneficial for all of us. Next, be sure that you regularly monitor your network activity. Log into LinkedIn on a fairly regular basis. 3 to 5 times a week would be fine. You certainly don't have to do it every single day, but the more you do it and the more you stay on top of what's going on within your network, the better off you'll be. So when you see others in your network that have achieved a milestone, maybe it's their birthday, congratulate them on the achievements. Maybe they've won an award. Getting a note on LinkedIn is a great thing to do. And once you've done that, once you've cultivated that meaningful relationship with these individuals, then you could go ahead and market yourself to them. Here's another shot of the mobile app, and in this area, you'll see that I had pretty regularly sent out notes to people for events, for things that they've achieved, for other accomplishments, maybe for milestones. It's a great way to stay in touch with your network. Now, let's go on to publishing. Publishing is something that LinkedIn began allowing you to do about 1.5 years ago, and there are over 1 million LinkedIn members that currently do publish on LinkedIn. When you publish on LinkedIn, you'll then have an opportunity to take a look at who's viewing and who liked your articles and thank them. And you can promote your LinkedIn publications not only on LinkedIn, but do it in your email campaign. We'll spend a few minutes talking about email a little bit later on in this webinar. Promote your LinkedIn publications on your other social networks. Cross-promote your activity. If you're active on Facebook, Twitter, Google+, YouTube, and so on, go ahead and market your LinkedIn publications on those channels. Also, add them to your blog and add them to your website. And once again, keep everything fresh. That's how search engines keep their own content fresh and up to date, and they're always scouring the web for fresh content. So the fresher your content is, the better. We've published over 30 articles on LinkedIn. You can see a screenshot of some of them, and some of them get quite a bit of activity, quite a bit of following, and that can do nothing but help you increase your visibility on this important social media channel. This takes us to the area of, should I have a free account or should I have a paid account? Most people I know use free. Free will get you just about everything you need in order to run your business more effectively. Here are just two of the differences between premium and free. When you're using the free version, you only get access to 3 days worth of activity for people who have viewed your profile, versus on the premium version, 90 days worth of information. You can go back 90 days and see everybody who looked at your profile. When you're in the premium version, it'll also enhance your searchability. LinkedIn provides better access to your profile if you use the premium version. And the premium version comes in about 12 different flavors. The one that I use is actually on the lowest rung. It runs about $30 a month, and they always offer 30 days free. So if you're not using premium, I'd encourage you to try it out and get the free offer to at least try it out. So on the free version, I mentioned you only get to see who's viewed your profile over the last 3 days. It's 3 days or the last 5 people who may have viewed your profile. And as you can see here, not everybody wants to be known as someone who checked you out. So as you can see on the screen here, there are people who chose to be anonymous. On the premium version, however, it's a real treasure trove of information. 90 days worth of information, people who viewed your profile, and the insights such as the keywords that led people to view your profile. So let me give you an example of that. On the free version, you only get access to basic keyword filters. So a couple of keywords, first name, last name, title, and so on. But on the premium version, you can use up to 8 more filters that enable you to really drill down and get to the people who you are most interested in. So not only name and job function, but also their level of seniority at a company, also what their interests are, the size of the company, and so on. So once again, I encourage you to try out the premium version of LinkedIn. Let's talk about views and talk about who's viewed your profile. This is critical. If you're not checking who viewed your profile, you're really missing out on a lot. I'd encourage you to review your profile almost daily. I do. It's important to me to know who's looking at my profile because these are potential leads for you. And if they're already connected to you and they're checking your profile on a regular basis, they may have an interest in either doing business with you, hiring you on a full or part-time basis, and so on. So take a look at it each day and check the analytics. And if fewer people are checking your profile, if the views are declining, that's a signal to you to be more active. Check out your viewers' profiles too and send a note to them to stay in touch. So here's one example of that. On this screenshot, you could see that over the last 90 days, I had 194 views, and it'll even tell me who, or where rather, these people work. It'll tell me what the most popular title is from people that worked. It'll show you the views and how they compared over the previous week and actions that may have been taken. So for example, that I may have added a certain number of connections or endorsed a certain number of people. But this is a powerful tool for anybody in business, whether you're in business or looking for a job. LinkedIn's the place to be. Which takes me to the hunt. How do you actually generate more leads? How do you find people or companies with whom you would like to do business? That's step 8. So when we're talking about searching for high quality leads on LinkedIn, take advantage of something that we mentioned at the top of this webinar, and that is that there are over 2 million groups on LinkedIn. Now, if you're not familiar with the groups function, I'll point it out in a little while when we go live on LinkedIn. It used to be that you were limited to only 50 groups that you could become members of. Now it's up to 100. But these groups could be companies that you used to work at. They could be people who share the same discipline and career that you do. So maybe you're a marketing consultant or an engineer and so on. Maybe it's the college or university you graduated from. Affinity groups are very powerful on LinkedIn because it enables you then to connect with people that have interests in common. And companies, once again, over 4 million companies have pages on LinkedIn where they can showcase their products and services, post job offerings, and so on. So use your company page to gain a following. Post your articles there. Link to your website. And once again, above all, keep it fresh. So here is what it looks like on one of the groups pages. When you go to the groups area of LinkedIn, you'll have an opportunity to see highlights from the groups you've already joined. You can see on the lower right-hand side the most active groups. These are groups that I am particularly active in, and you could see the number of conversations that there are posted. So the more activity there is in a group, the better your chances for cultivating great leads. And it's not simply a matter of joining a group. It's if you post inside a group, you are 4 times more likely to be viewed as someone who has not posted in that group. So once again, posting in a group gives you an average of 4 times more profile views than those who don't post in the groups. And on company pages, LinkedIn's made it much easier to get more followers on your LinkedIn page. So drive people to your pages so that they stay updated on your products and services. So that's a quick rundown of the 8 success factors. What I'd like to do now is to dig in and give you some real-life examples of how to use LinkedIn for lead generation. So let's use this example. Let's say that there are companies that you'd like to target. You would go up to the search bar. LinkedIn really does make it very easy for you to find target companies. So in this example, I will look for mid-sized software companies that have employees in the Orlando area. Now, I'm in the Orlando area myself, a software company, because we do a lot of business with B2B companies. A software company is a likely target for us. And when I say mid-sized companies in the Orlando area, and again, software, what I'm thinking about here is companies that have between 51 and 200 employees. A company that only has an employee or two in this area, they probably are just local salespeople working out of their home. And I know who the biggest of the big are in the Orlando area, so I just selected 51 to 200 people. And when I did that search, I came up with 16 companies that had 51 to 200 employees in this metro area. And as you could see from the blue numbers, there are significant numbers of people that are already within my LinkedIn network that I can now reach out to try to cultivate some business. But let's now talk about high quality leads. And let's go into the advanced search. And once again, this is a case where you're probably going to be better off with the premium version. In this example, I'm looking for people in construction at Disney in Central Florida. That's the Central Florida zip code. And I'm looking for all LinkedIn members at Disney. And here's what I came up with, 182 results. So there are now 182 people that I can reach out to that work at Disney in this local area if I'm looking to do business with someone in the construction area. Jill is asking, is the lead gen company search feature for premium only? No, but it's more limited if you're using the free version. If you haven't tried it yet, Jill, I'd recommend that you go in after this webinar and check out and see what level of detail you can get. But no, it's not just for premium. You can do a company search on the free version as well. So how do you leverage this information? Well, let me answer that in part by asking you, what do you think the #1 cell phone app is? We're all carrying smartphones. They're with us all the time. What do you think the #1 cell phone app is? No, it isn't Facebook, and it isn't Google. No, it may surprise you to know that the #1 cell phone app is email. We're always checking our email. On our smartphone, it's with us all the time. In fact, the data says that 91% of us are checking our email every day, most of the time on a smartphone. And some research that was done by ExactTarget a couple of years back found that more than 3/4 of us prefer to be marketed to via email marketing. And here's what a recent article in Forbes said. It said that customer acquisition via email has quadrupled in the last 4 years, and that customers who come to businesses via email tend to shop with that merchant more and spend more. And you may be asking, what does this have to do with LinkedIn? Well, I'm going to make that connection for you here in just a moment. Email marketing on its own delivers a return on investment of over $44 for every dollar you spend. 44 to 1. And because we're always in our inbox, we're always checking for email, it's important to understand that email is a critical component of how you market your business. Remember, we're talking about LinkedIn to generate leads. So what we want to do is use a tool that we know 90% of the time is going to get to someone's inbox. So if you've generated a lead on LinkedIn and you email those individuals, you'll be able to be pretty well assured that you'll be able to cultivate a very strong relationship with that individual. I have the Facebook icon up there now too for this reason. Only 2% of Facebook fans will actually see you in a newsfeed. And the number is very comparable on LinkedIn. So think about this for a moment. When you think about email getting delivered 90% of the time, and people check their inboxes over 90% every single day, but only 2% of your posts show up in a social media newsfeed, it makes sense then that you really ought to combine email and social media. We're all about social media. We're all about email. But when you combine the two, you get 73% more engagement. And when you combine the two, you get 57% more new customers. And in terms of referrals, you get a whole lot more referral business when you combine email and social. And if you're not yet using an email marketing service, let me just give you a quick left and right comparison. If you take a look at the email on the left, that's something that in all likelihood was sent out using something like Outlook or Google Mail. Very difficult to read, not very interesting to read. But if you're using a service like Constant Contact, take a look at the item on the right. You've got great branding. You can use great imagery. You can tell your story. These two emails, the left and the right, both say the same thing. But the one on the right, I'm sure that you would understand and agree, is far more powerful and far more engaging. The thing about email marketing using a service like Constant Contact means that you can easily determine how many people are opening up your emails. You can't do that with Outlook and Gmail. And not only that, best practices will enable you, using the information that you get using an email service like Constant Contact, to segment your list, optimize the subject line, evaluate when the best day and time are to send an email out, and you could use a name that's easily recognizable. Open rates average between 8 and 28%, and if you're not familiar with email marketing, you may say, gee, that's pretty low. But if you think about how you use email, you probably don't look at every single email that you receive every day. I get over 600 emails a day. So if I've opened up your email, you're within that 8 to 28% range, you're doing really well. Let's think about click-throughs for a moment. Another distinct advantage using email marketing services is that not only do you get to see the click-through rate, but you also get to see exactly who's opened up your email, who's clicked on a link inside your email. We teach you, when you use email marketing, how to simplify your call to action. We teach you how to format your email so that the links stand out. We teach you how to send targeted content. Here's an example of one of our clients who has been in the promotional specialties business for about 20 years. And for the last 4 years before they came to one of our workshops, they were averaging, for 4 years running, annual sales of $50,000 a year. They were using Google AdWords to try to promote their business, and what they found was it simply wasn't working. They started using email marketing through us in 2013, and in the first 6 months using email, they added $250,000 in sales. That's pretty extraordinary. They went from $50,000 to $300,000 in just 6 months. Last year, 3 years later, they broke $1 million in sales. All they use is email marketing to market their business. So for this client of the Countess Group, the ROI on email isn't 44 to 1, but rather it's over 800 to 1. So to summarize, 91% check email every day. More than 70% of us prefer to be marketed to via email. The average return on investment is 44 to 1. But as you saw, This client is experiencing an ROI of over 800 to 1. Now, everybody gets different results, and we can't guarantee that you'll come near the 800 to 1, but we can certainly help you get the most out of your email campaigns should you decide to start using email marketing. On LinkedIn, remember there are over 400 million members. There are 5 billion searches done annually. And with over 2 million groups and 4 million companies on LinkedIn, it's a great way to capitalize on your business and really drive better results. And when you combine email marketing with LinkedIn marketing, you can really maximize your results. I once again encourage you to send an invitation to me, and I'll gladly add you to my LinkedIn network, and you'll be one of over 4,000 people that have joined us on LinkedIn in the first circle. I'd encourage you too to learn more at our half-day and all-day workshops and seminars. We do these seminars and webinars on a fairly regular basis, but if you'd like to get a free 15-minute consultation on how we can help you do a better job of marketing your business and becoming more successful, use the link I just dropped into the chat box. That's the one that you see on screen. It's bit.ly/meet-with-Ken. That will enable you to set up a time that's most convenient for you, and it's a time that I am available. I would encourage you to do that and set up some time so we can chat. Another thing I'd like to offer you is an opportunity to attend our upcoming 3-day marketing boot camp. We're going to spend 3 days with a very limited number of people, just the first 24 who decide to sign up. Go to this link, put this in the chat box as well, bit.ly/3-day-boot-camp. That will allow you to get more information about our boot camp, what we'll be doing. And by the way, if you enter promo code SAVE500 before tomorrow, you'll be able to get 25% off the tuition. So once again, that's promo code SAVE500, saves you 25%. Here's what we're going to do during the boot camp. We're going to teach you how to no longer do spray and pray marketing. We're going to teach you how to use up-to-the-minute best practices effectively to generate high-quality leads, to engage and retain more clients. You'll get the personalized information that you really need to help you grow your business, to be more successful. I mentioned that there would be a couple of offers. That's one of them. Another one is if you're not yet using email marketing to grow your business. If you use this URL, bit.ly/$5-offer, you can sign up for a brand new Constant Contact email marketing account fully featured for just $5 a month for your first 3 months. And here's another way to do that as well. I've put that in the chat box also. If you text my name, Ken, to 99000, you can get Constant Contact for just $5 a month for your first 3 months. And if you act today, we'll also create a mobile responsive, reusable email template free of charge, and you'll get free training from the Countess Group to help you get started. Free training, free template, $5 a month, hard to pass up. So once again, that's the offer, bit.ly/$5 offer, or text my name, Ken, to the number 99000, and you'll be able to sign up in just a couple of minutes' time. If you're already using Constant Contact, reach out to me. We can help you get a free autoresponder welcome series. That's a $100 value, $99 to be exact. Let me know if you're interested, and we'll get that set up for you as well. So we have a few minutes to dive live into LinkedIn. So let's go ahead and do that right now. There's our contact information. I hope you'll take advantage of it. Let me go and switch screens for the moment, and we'll dive into our live LinkedIn account. So just bear with me for a moment. And there we go. So let's talk about how to use LinkedIn. And by the way, feel free once again to ask any questions. I'd also like to know this. Would it be worth 15 minutes of your time if I could show you how to attract more clients and generate more revenue? Go ahead and answer that question for me, and then we'll dive into LinkedIn. Okay, we'll close this up in just a moment. All right, good. Thank you for your responses. So let's go back into LinkedIn, and what you can see here is that it looks a lot different. If you have not used LinkedIn in quite some time, it's a very different experience than it was not very long ago. And the changes are pretty evident. They've moved the search bar to this area here where my cursor is. You can see what's going on in your network. Anytime you see a red number, as you see over here where I'm moving the cursor now, that means there's new stuff going on inside of your account. So here, for instance, is someone that has sent me an invitation. We'll go ahead and accept it. Here's another one. We'll go ahead and accept that. And I may just take time to see who else has asked for a connection. What you see here is the number of connections, and then you could view all of the connections that you have in your LinkedIn network. So that shows you here now that there's still two new things going on in my network that I have not looked at. Messaging is something you do definitely want to pay attention to. We use that a lot. This is someone I spoke to not very long ago. We have some business yet to do. Some notifications. Here's where LinkedIn will give you a sense of what's going on within your network. So work anniversaries, birthdays, someone who's actually liked the post. So as I mentioned earlier, in the publication area, you can see who viewed your post. You can also now see that when people are viewing posts that you put up during the course of your experience. So this is a post we put up a couple of days ago. It's already got 33 views and 1 like. So we can go ahead and drill down and see who's actually viewing the posts. There are lots of other things that you can do inside your account. We don't have time to go through all of it. What I do want to do, though, is to give you an opportunity to learn more about how to use LinkedIn. And I also want to find out who would be interested in learning more about our workshop that's coming up in July. So if you would go ahead and let me know if you're interested in joining our boot camp. We'll send more information to you. Okay, thank you for your replies. Let's go back and finish up what's going on our presentation here. We're actually at the close, and I want to thank everyone for joining us today. If you have any questions, I will stick around for a few minutes longer and answer any questions you may have. Please feel free to reach out to us anytime, and once again, for anybody attending our webinar today, we will send a copy of the presentation as long as you submitted all of the information that we asked for at sign-in. So once again, thanks everybody for joining us today. I do appreciate your time and your participation. And as I mentioned, we do want to end on time. So we'll say thanks once again. I look forward to having you attend one of our upcoming events. And if you're watching this on a replay, do feel free to reach out to us. Please sign up for one of our live events coming up soon. Bye, everybody.